Well, you're never going to believe what I'm going to do today. You might be thinking, oh, he's got a different mat there. Well, yes, I have. I bought this dual zone resin art silicone mat from Resiners. Actually, not to use as a mat, although it would be a really useful mat, because this is the side that you would use for mixing stations and curing things up where you didn't want it to pull around the rim and then it would fall into the dots. And this is the side where you could just do ordinary curing on. Now, neither sides of these are glossy, so I'm actually going to be working not in reverse. So the front face is going to be of what I'm making, and I can't wait to show you what I'm going to use this for and what I'm going to make. The first thing that's really important for what I'm doing is to make sure it's really completely clean and there's no bits on it at all. And I've gone over that with a baby wipe and made sure I've got that as clean as I possibly can. And while I'm prepping, I'm going to fold it in half and I'm going to put it somewhere safe so it keeps clean. What I plan to do is use this as a mold, both sides, and I want to try and make some really nice lampshades out of it. Now, I'm not going to want them as big as this, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to make two out of each side, so double the output for half the amount of work. The first thing I need to do is mix up my resin. Now, I've already measured how much resin I'll need for this side, and that's 400 mils of resin for this side, and for this side I would imagine it's going to be approximately half of that. And I'm going to do two very different designs. For this project, I'm going to be using the 2x UV Protect. You can get the 2x in the UK and the 3x in America. I'll link them in the description below because this one is going to have quite a bit of transparency to it as well. Now, I have these planned out in my head exactly how I think they're going to come out and look, but who knows if that's going to be the case. So we'll have to wait and see. I've had these bottles in my bottle warmer and it really has made a difference because it is quite cold in my studio today. So they're pouring nicely. And there's going to be a few stages to making sure that I get this right. So first thing I'm going to do is give this a good mix for 4 minutes. And then once that's mixed, I can then degas it. Well, that's now all mixed up. That's had 4 minutes. What I'm going to do is put this in my degasser for probably about 5 minutes. Clean off my blade first before I put it away. And now what I'm going to do is decant this into one of these larger pots that are ideal for your larger degasser. Remember, never fill them up more than a third of the way up because as the bubbles start to form in the degasser, you don't want it overflowing. Pop that in there. And I like to keep an eye on it just in case. Make sure everything's shut off. And I'm putting it on for 5 minutes. So that should got rid of most of the bubbles in there now. Oh yeah, that's much better. I will still probably put some bubbles in it by adding the items and the little flowers that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to degas the other half while I'm pouring. Make sure that's fairly clean, which it is. And now I'm going to pour the beginning of it on here. Now, I actually don't mind if there is a few bubbles in this, because I think they will be picked up quite well by the light. But I don't want it overly bubbly. Does that make... I'm not sure if that makes any sense, really. There we go. And I can put that there ready to clean out. Spread this out as far as I can. Ready for the next layer to go on here. I mean, this isn't what this is designed for at all, but I just thought, well, it's an ideal size. I'm going to use it. Yeah, I've pushed quite a few bubbles into that now, but that's okay. I'll go over it with a long neck lighter, burst some of them off. And now what I'm going to do is start putting my pressed flowers in. I've got loads of pressed flowers. Again, I got these from Resiners, and I'll link them in the description below. This is going to be the front. I want this to be the front of the flowers. And I know when I add these flowers to it, I'm going to definitely get air trapped underneath them. All I'm doing to start with is laying them on, and actually I'm doing it quite random, just laying them gently on the surface of this and letting it do its thing. I wish I'd had a few more butterflies now that I could have done already made. I could put some butterflies in this. I think that would have looked pretty. So now I've got my flowers on there exactly how I want them. All I'm going to do now is go around and pour some more resin on this, and this will find its own level. And now I'll go along and I will push the flowers down a little bit. And they're going to be well covered in resin then. And that should push out any of the bubbles that have got trapped underneath. And then we let this cure up. Now, what I want to get back to this before this goes fully hard, because obviously I want to mold this into shape. So I'll keep monitoring this over the next few hours. These flowers are so pretty, and you get nice lot of greenery with it as well, which I like. We didn't need to stick these flowers down because this isn't a very deep casting, so they're not going to go far. Well, I don't think I've missed any, but I may have done. So all I'm going to do now is go over this with a long neck lighter, burst off any bubbles that I've pushed up to the top. And then while this is curing, I can get on with the other one and show you what I'm going to do with that. That's going to make that slightly different. Well, very different, actually. Not slightly different. It's got no flowers in it at all. Still a few bubbles in there I can see that have come out from the flowers, but I'm happy with those. Oh, I think that looks quite pretty already. Well, what I've got now is my resin poured out into separate containers. And now I'm going to be using, this time, chrome powders. But I'm not brushing them on the mould. I'm actually putting them in the resin and mixing it through. Well, I've got my colours all mixed up now, and I've got them in pot. I want this to be really random. I don't want it to be just blocks of colour. So that's why I'm putting this on very randomly indeed. I'm going in, filling some gaps, leaving some gaps each time. And you can do this with bubble wrap, but with bubble wrap you get the round indents, where with this these are all different sizes and they're in a really nice pattern. That's why I thought I'd use it for this. Any gaps I'm just going to go in and fill. Right, I think that's enough, because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over this with my squidgy here and bring it all down to the bottom so that I've got all the little gaps, or as many as I possibly can have, visible. And I may have to take some of this out, but that isn't a problem either. At least that way I've got all the gaps filled. I'll just pour that into a mould somewhere. Okay, there we go. All I'm now going to do is leave these to cure up and get to the stage where I can still bend them. Well, these have cured now, and I left them to cure for about 16 hours, so they are still flexible. I might have liked them a little bit more flexible than that. And I've measured now where I want to cut these once I get these out. Oh no, they're going to be flexible enough. So this one I'm going to cut here, across there, and the same for this one. Then I'll show you how I'm going to mould these while they finish curing. Look out. I love this. I just love it. It's such a great pattern. Obviously, I don't want that bit there, but I really like it. Right, so let's move this out of the way, and then I can give that mat, well, that mat isn't going to take much cleaning, but there. And I'm going to go and cut these down, and I'll show you then what I'm going to do to get them into shape. So I've cut these now into the sizes that I wanted, and that's the cut edge, and that's going to go on the bottom. And now all I need to do is wrap these around this wine bottle to get it into a shape that I want. Those edges, until it's gone completely hard, I'm going to tape together. And then once it's gone completely hard, I can then set them completely. At the moment, I want them to be really quite well butted up against each other, and then leave this probably for about another 10 hours to go really hard. There we go. So that's nice and round now. And now I can leave that to one side to go hard. This one, I'm not going to waste that, of course, because what I'm going to do is just make a shorter lamp with it and do exactly the same thing. Because I might like the shorter one, and if I do, then all I'll do next time is cut this into 3. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this one as well. And then we can look at them, and I'll show you how I'm going to finish them off, because it's important. There's a finishing stage to this that's really important as well. So I have done this smaller one, even though it's got this gap in here, because I've had an idea for that, and I think that might come out quite cute. So you'll have to wait to see what I do with that. Well, these have all been sitting now for about 3 days, so they should be lovely and solid. It will be quite easy to get the tape off. All I have to do is run down the seam, like that, and then just pull this tape off. If there's any residue left over, I can just give it a bit of a clean off. Now, you'll be quite surprised how well these stay together once they've had the tape taken off, because they've gone nice and hard. But I do one more thing to them to ensure that they're not going to come apart. Well, I've got the tape off all these now, and as you can see, they do start to open up a little bit. They get to a point where they're not going to open up any further. That's probably as much as it might open up. But if it does get really, really warm, it could open up a little bit more. These ones, which are thinner, they've not opened up as much, but I want them to stay shut like that constantly. So what I'm going to be using to do that with is some 5-minute epoxy. Now this will dry clear. I'm only going to mix up the amount that I need. Start with, it is a 1-to-1 resin, and give that a good mix together. Once that's mixed together, then what I can do is start to put this on here. Now you do need 3 hands for this really. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to pull the middle together like that, making sure I've got it all lined up and it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to put my 5-minute epoxy in here, in this groove. And while it's still wet as well, you can wipe it up and clean it up. Okay, so I need to give that a quick wipe over. Where I've done that, all I'm going to be using is a little bit of alcohol. Get rid of any splashes that I've got and then go over the edge. And now I can put my tape on here, holding that together where I want it, pull that tape tight and close that off. And that won't stick to that tape. The tape will come off once you've done it. And then I'll work my way down doing that same technique. So this end, I'm going to do this end now. And then once I've done this end, I can then do the middle. Now I can take that middle bit off and then put some through the middle as well. And now I'm going to tape that up and leave that to cure, and I'll do the other ones exactly the same. So as I said, I've got a way of filling in this little gap. Now you could leave it if you'd like and leave it like that. But what I've done is on a piece of vellum, I've just written the word light like that. And that is going to fit on there. Now I need to attach that with something. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a bit of gilding glue, because of course I use it in nearly every project because I love it. And all I'm going to do is go around this very gently around this edge like this. You don't need much, but just a small amount with a brush, and let that dry. And then once that's dry, I'll be able to stick that onto that resin quite easily. And that will stay there permanently. You could do something a little bit more fancy smancy than I've done. I've just done light because I thought that was a bit obvious. And you could do that on your Cricut, or by hand, or with paints, or whatever you want to use really. So it's nice and dry now, and I can put this in here. And there we go, that's in there now. It just says light. And these are all done. They've all got nicely sealed up, and they're not going to come apart at all now. And all we have to do is test them out as a light, and then they're done. And I'm using these light bases. I made sure when I wrapped them around the bottle that these would fit on here, and they do. They fit on really, really well. And these ones, you don't even need to cut a nick out, because you will have somewhere at the back with the hole in that will actually fit over it. And these ones, you could take a little nick out of the edge if you wanted to with your Dremel, but I'm not going to. I think that'll sit in there okay. So let's have a look. And that lights up really, really well. Hopefully my camera is picking that up all right. It gives a great light, and it is spreading out of there, and you can see it's lighting up everywhere. You could even put this on something that rotates, a rotating light, and have it give you all those different patterns in your room. So let's have a look at the other one, which is the flower one. Again, that's come out beautiful. I love that. I love the way it lights through the flowers, that translucent effect from where you did it on the mat, and those flowers have really come out well. And the same for the small one, and the same for the large one, like that as a lamp. I think they've made great shades. Really unique little lamps. There we go. That fits, actually, that fits really nice in that join there, and that has sat there so well. So 4 lamps out of a mat that wasn't designed for that, but has given a great effect. I'll be making several more of these. I think I really like this. I'm going to have them around the house. They make great bedside lamps as well. I love looking at things differently and thinking, what can I do with that? That mat isn't that expensive. I'll link it in the description below, but it's also very useful as a mat, because you'll have seen me use it in other videos as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm so pleased with them, I have to say. I think they'd sell exceptionally well, and everyone would be unique as well. Currently, I'm offering a free course on how to set up your own business if you're a crafter and you only want to work either a few hours a week, or develop it into full time. That's for my members only, so you would need to become a member. You can join the membership in the link below, and that's coming out each month. There's a new episode to it, a new video for it. The first one's already out, so I hope my members have enjoyed that. But if you have, then members, please let people know in the comments if you found it useful. It's free to members, so make the most of it. Check out the video I've got coming up next. Boot the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.